back again.
Take two.
All right. Take two. You know what though? That was good. That was good. The nap and then like a practice run.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're good. Yeah. I'm missing the Laker game for this show. The dedication that is happening right now.
So, but let's keep it real though. If I didn't text you about recording, you'd have slept through the whole game.
Had the alarm set. Had the alarm set for 7:58. I've become like a like precise. You know what I mean? I'm like the Michael Jordan of taking naps. I'm like money. You know what I'm saying? Money from all over.
You were the Michael Jordan of gambling on your last minute alarm clock.
Money from all over the clock. Word up, man. What's good, Kevin?
7:58 heat check.
That is my alarm setting. Like, I set alarm for, like 5:56. Like, it's like an off. I don't know.
That's how you know you're a professional.
Exactly. I don't know if that's like a hack or anything. I don't know if that's one to grow on, but try it out. It works pretty well for me. I'm usually up right when I need to be. What's up, Kev? What's going on, man? How's your week, bro?
Good, man. Good. Just
How was the little one's birthday?
Fantastic. She had a good time. Yeah. Good.
I didn't get a chance to say this in the last take. So I'm actually kind of glad we redid this. You like an important person, man. You at art galas, and you know what I mean. You all over the place right now, man.
Oh, I'm the rap Forrest Gump.
Yeah, like it's legendary right now. I'm like, wait, is that what's going on, Kev? You know what I mean? Dressed up, man. With the, you know what I mean?
You want to know something? Let me tell you something. That, I think, was the first time that jacket has made it out of the dry cleaning wrapper since the wedding.
Really?
So I put it on, and my dad was babysitting, so I put it on, and he's like, "Oh, it still fits you." Now, I normally wouldn't tell my dad to F off. I think I might have actually told him to kiss my ass. I'm not sure, but
oh man, Pops is gonna let you know if you gain some weight. That's for sure. He even let me know, and I was like, "Wow, no one's ever said that to me before." I was like, "Not one person has ever told me I've gained weight in my life, actually, except for your dad." I was like, wow. I was actually more of like complimented, like, wow, I might actually be growing like an actual person. All right, Kev. So we kind of talked about Wu-Tang a little bit before the show jumped off.
Yeah, nobody from the Wu-Tang Clan was at the event.
No. Well, not even
unless you count Jeff Bezos.
Did you see that the NFT people bought that Wu-Tang record, the Unheard?
I saw that someone bought it. I didn't know who it was or what the details were, but
it's kind of the original NFT, if you will.
Yeah,
in theory, you know what I'm saying. So yeah,
Riz is a futuristic thinker. He's like a futuristic thinker.
See, that's the thing. We were just talking about how, you know what I mean? How basically Raekwon and Ghost sounded like they had the most fun during the Wu-Tang run, period. Yeah. Period, point blank. Like, and I can't imagine studio sessions. I feel like those are just recorded studio sessions. Like, there wasn't anything deliberate about it.
I tell you what, if nothing else, you should watch it to see the Raekwon Ghost relationship, which I knew nothing about. Okay. Which was contentious, to say the least. If this is accurate, which I assume it is. But yeah.
Fair.
You know what, though? I think they might have had the stutter aspect because they were just so excited to be talking about what they're talking about.
You think so? Because that was my opening question to you. Like, do you think that they were stuttering on purpose?
Yeah, I think that might have been what it was. Yeah.
Okay, so they truly don't have like a stuttering problem. I've met Ghost.
I don't know. Yeah.
Here's the funny thing, and people say this all the time about, let's say characters that people might assume were dangerous, scary, or whatever the case may be, right? But this is a very real thing. I've met Ghostface several times throughout my life. Nicest human being on the planet. Dude was super cool. Always super, never was like big headed or, you know what I'm saying, kind of too big for the room. Always real chill. Spoke to me first most times, which used to weird me out. Like, I mean, not that I was deliberately ignoring anybody or whatever, but he kind of point me out in the crowd. Yo, what's up? I'm like, yo, what's up? I wonder if he thinks I'm somebody else. Like, you know what I mean? But no, he was always super nice. It's crazy, but I never, in conversation, he didn't have the stutter. So I was like, yo. So it's the excitement thing.
I don't know. I mean, I'm guessing. Yeah.
I mean, right?
My daughter does that. When my daughter's excited about something, it will take 13 hours for her to say, for her to say like 4 or 5 sentences.
That's children.
Yeah.
That's just children.
So. Yeah.
Here's what I want. I want them to work at a drive-through window for like Baskin Robbins. Or something like that. Like that is the Saturday Night Live sketch. Raekwon and Ghostface working at an ice cream like drive-through or whatever. We got all type of flavors. We got, you know what I'm saying? We got the
fresh vanilla butter pecan chocolate deluxe.
Like, you know what I'm saying? All of that. You know what I'm saying? We got the pistachio joint, pistachio with the green joint. You know what I mean?
So bust this. You get the vanilla. You get the vanilla right.
Yo,
the cream joint.
Raekwon hype in the back. Tell them how to make a sundae, God. Tell them how to make a sundae. You know what I mean? It's funny because we only talk about Wu-Tang on this show. We have never. If you think we're like super Wu-Tang heads, you're absolutely wrong. We, in our friendship, which is well over 10 years at this point, we have never talked about Wu-Tang collectively or separately or whatever. But word up, man. All right, Kev. Well, I also am going to do this because I'm going to do it again because I don't do top 10s, but I will say this, and I'm going to. You corrected me last time and threw a group out there that you're right about. I think if I had to put one up against the other, I would agree. But Wu-Tang best collection of MCs, you know, of all times. I'm talking putting out a singular record, like right. Now,
right.
Your argument was Hyro.
Well, that's a different. You didn't say putting out a singular record, also, because that's sort of a different.
Hyro put out the Imperium record, right?
I guess they did. Yeah, everyone was on that. Pep, everybody was on that.
Ooh, was Pep on that? Pep was so nice.
Super dope.
Pep was great. Pep was crazy nice. Pep was for MCs that listen to the show. I mean, I don't know. I might stand alone in it, but there are times when an MC comes on and you're like, okay, I am definitely not writing to that capability. And on Undisputed Ones, I was like, even Q-Tip, who did nice on that record, just sounded like, all right, well, Tip is the other dude rapping on this because Pep murdered that joint. Anyway, all right, I'm gonna go with Hyro on that one. Although, yeah, other groups that are mentioned, we're not gonna mention them again. But
this is a Wu-Tang podcast, so we can't.
We can't go too far away from it.
Stick with the Wu-Tang.
And Hyro doesn't have any you gods, but other crews have more you gods than we're willing to accept and understand. Like, you know what I mean? But anyway, all right, y'all. Kev, we got a lot to talk about, man. You ready to get to the other side?
Let's do it.
Let's do this. Let's go.
Rap Sucks Radio. Blah, 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 blah.
What up, y'all? You are live on Rap Sucks Radio with your homeboy Track Life and your fam, Kev Sakoda.
Your podcast, you God.
No. Refuse. I'd like to say that we are the Ghostface and Raekwon of podcasting.
Ooh.
Is that you know what I'm saying?
I don't know if we're ready
for the
that
stars,
yet.
man. Reach for the stars. You know what I mean? Don't you know, you can't just reach across the table. You reach for the stars here.
That's what Bezos said.
Well, hey, listen, and the toilet's broke. Thank y'all for tuning in, man. We appreciate each and every one of y'all. If you would like to catch past episodes of this show, you can go to rapsucksradio.com or any of your favorite podcasting platforms. You can also catch us on your television on BTSN, that's Behind the Scenes Network. Download the app or channel on your Roku or any of your Amazon Fire devices. Click on the app or channel, and we are right there with plenty of other dope content. BTSN, Behind the Scenes Network. We want in. And yeah, Kev, let's get into this, man. Let's get into a couple of these things, man. We got some vaccine talk, right? Got some juicy vaccine conversation for you.
Hot vax action.
Yo, all right. Kev, who got to chill this week, man?
Oh, Aaron Rodgers, Dr. Aaron Rodgers.
Dr. Aaron Rodgers. Thank you very much for that.
Dr. Aaron Rodgers, QB.
Surgical on the field, I might add. Surgical on the field. Maybe not so surgical in real life.
The field surgeon general.
Check it out. Topic title for this is No Rodgers, No Rerun, No Rent. Kev is testing my what's happening knowledge.
I gave you the heads up.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I will admit to the audience, I did not get that reference initially until Kev threw that at me. But keep in mind, I was not watching what's happening. My brother and sister, though, probably would get that reference.
So what are you saying?
You're old. Did I say this last week?
You did.
Why are we? Yeah. Okay. Let's run that back. All right. Anyway. Reason for this is Kev called this fool Flat Earthington. Flat Earthington QB Aaron Rodgers played the Martin Luther King Jr. card after playing himself. True and true. Yeah. Sources here are ESPN.com, LATimes.com, Aaron Rodgers, Dr. Joe Rogan, MLK Jr., and I'm going to add one more that's not noted here, Kyrie Irving.
Yes,
is my play to see, just so you guys know the angle I'm taking on this.
Okay,
let's check it out. Green Bay Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers has tested positive for COVID-19. The NFL has considered Rodgers as unvaccinated since the start of the season. Sources confirmed to ESPN, and as first reported by the NFL Network, Rodgers was placed on the league's reserve COVID list, and the NFL said it would look into how the Packers have handled the league's COVID-19 protocols. Under league protocols, if Rodgers tests positive and is unvaccinated, he must quarantine a minimum of 10 days and cannot return till November 13th at the earliest if he remains asymptomatic. Rodgers, age 37, had an alternate treatment prior to the start of training camp, sources told ESPN, and he petitioned the NFL for that treatment to allow him to be considered the same as someone who received one of the approved vaccinations. After a lengthy back and forth, the league, the players' union, and the infectious disease consultant approved by both parties heard Rodgers' case for exemption and ruled that he would not get the same consideration and would be considered unvaccinated. Rodgers, the reigning NFL MVP this past August, said he was, quote, immunized when asked about his vaccination status. Here's a full kind of statement from him. There's a lot of conversation around the league, and a lot of guys who have made statements, not made statements, owners who have made statements. This is a lot. There's guys on the team that haven't been vaccinated. I think it's a personal decision. I'm not going to judge these guys. There are guys that have been vaccinated and have contracted COVID. It's an interesting issue that I think we're going to see play out the entire season. He later added, I think I like to learn everything about everything that I'm doing. And there was a lot of research that even went into that. But like I said, there's been people that have tested positive. And I think it's only vaccinated people here. It's going to be interesting to see how things move forward. Obviously, there could be some issues with vaccinated people only testing every couple weeks and non-vaccinated people testing every day. All right, Kev. How does that SpongeBob thing go? Mid-season later. All right, we got a lot to read here because I want to make sure we get the whole story out. So this is that was ESPN's notes. This is the LA Times of all the surprises to unfold in the past week. Watching Aaron Rodgers use the words of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King to try to justify his nonsense was the least expected. When Drew Brees, then Saints quarterback, turned a question about players protesting racial injustice into a discussion about the flag, Rodgers responded quickly via social media. Rodgers tweet, "It has never been about the anthem or the flag," he wrote in an Instagram post and included a picture of him locking arms with teammates before the game with the hashtag #WakeUpAmerica. Needless to say, that post was a hit with progressives, as it would be. I liked it. So yeah, after he had been outed, so yeah was actually typed in. All right, anyway. So yeah, after he had been outed as having played without being vaccinated, watching the guy spend 45 minutes on the Pat McAfee show spitting out catchphrases like crosshairs of the woke mob, and my final nail gets put in the cancel culture casket. Kev. We need like a sound, like a celebratory sound every time someone says that they're cancel cult. Like, you know what I mean? I think I'm going to get like I'm not going to do it this episode, but maybe like the Pee-wee's Playhouse thing, you know, like excitement or whatever. Yeah. Anyway, like he was a MAGA Pez dispenser was a bit jarring, but that's not what stuck with me the most, the writer for LA Times said. He said, it was Rodgers evoking King as he tried to explain why he misled the public about his vaccination status that was so revealing. Before talking about some of the league's COVID protocols that he considers nonsensical, Rodgers quoted, "The great MLK said," this is my favorite way for any white person to start any sentence, by the way. "You have a moral obligation to object to unjust rules and rules that made no sense." All right, Kev, that was a lot of reading. I'm sorry, folks, but you guys needed to hear all of that.
Rundown. It's a good rundown.
It was a very good rundown. It was a perfect rundown. Thank you, Kev. And now, Kev, per usual, you go ahead and set it off, man. We kick off to Kev. He
had good movement in the pocket with the wordplay, being real cutesy there.
He was out of pocket, but in pocket.
Yeah, but in pocket. And I don't know what you're about to say, but I thought that he made Kyrie look like Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Dude. Well, I'll give you my Kyrie take in full a little bit after this initial fire off.
But yeah, I mean, why do they always have to go to MLK? And by they, I mean white people under pressure. Because also, by the way, the deck is stacked. If a black person or even any person of color invokes the words of MLK, we don't ignore it, but we probably don't hear it quite that much.
We're done with it.
Yeah, if you're a white man, you say, well, as the great MLK said, like Trek said, you're in trouble. You're already in trouble. Why didn't...
And I wonder...
Go ahead, what?
Okay, Kev, question.
Yeah.
And you can't answer this question, nor can I. And I'm not asking this disrespectfully. I really am curious. Does white America like lean in when you say "as the great MLK"? Like, is that a moment where everyone goes, "Uh-oh, this is like a proud pastor moment"? You know what I mean? When the best information ever is about to come out. You know what I'm saying?
Let's okay. First of all, let's take a quick snapshot here. 70%. Thereabouts of this country, as of whatever last week, the people who could get vaccinated have been vaccinated.
Sure.
So it stands to reason that of the remaining 30%, there are probably a fairly significant number of people who either are very concerned or have potential actual medical concerns about the vaccine. And then people who, like we've talked about many times, are very skeptical or very concerned, aren't getting vaccinated, but also aren't doing press conferences without masks on. And probably aren't leaving the house too much. Let's say that's 5%. So if you say that 3/4 of this country are either vaccinated or very cautious as a whole, that leaves the 25% of people like him who are either privileged or you know, it's not to invalidate that these people really believe what they believe, but it's a minority of people, sure. Right? So I also want to believe that it's a minority of all people who hear that and react to well, as MLK said, you know, I think I think they're a nice, healthy chunk of the white American population who, when they hear a quarterback, a white heterosexual male quarterback, start a sentence with "as the great MLK said," they know it's about to get a little rough for them at the office.
Definitely in this situation, right?
Yeah.
Definitely in this situation. And I would say that where many Americans may not agree on much, we probably all collectively rolled our eyes when he started off a sentence that way.
Sure.
Everyone from Central America, Middle America. From Middle America to all the way to the shores of Tripoli. We're like, no.
This is what I want to know. How come?
Although I don't know.
Why
is he
shores
of Tripoli? By the way, go ahead.
If he wants to take his advice from certain people with certain mindsets, then when it comes to quoting great Americans, then why isn't he sticking with the theme in quoting the great historical texts of Jenny McCarthy and Joe Rogan? Why aren't there equally weighty and pithy words to say in that circumstance? Why do you have to jump over to somebody who probably, at the end of the day, probably would have gotten vaccinated? Probably.
Look, all right. So trying to not take it too seriously, but then again, there's some seriousness here. So it wasn't so much that he played unvaccinated, right? That he actually played right? It's that he found a way to shirk the rules of all the NFL as an unvaccinated player, right? And he felt that he could be vaccinated in his own way, right? It's sort of like, I'm vaccinated in my own mind. You know, if you believe you're vaccinated, you are vaccinated. You say what?
Immunized.
Wasn't
that what he
said? Right. I'm immunized. Right. Which, I'm not sure how other NFL players feel, but that's sort of a kind of a bounce in my statement. But so it is the privilege, if you will, of feeling like, look, I've decided out of, almost 400 million people, well, let's say close to 300 million people as adults, right? I get to decide which way that I'm vaccinated for, and I get to follow the rules the way I decide so. It's one thing, and this is where the Kyrie Irving thing comes in, because the scrutiny is definitely not equal. If you want to quote Martin Luther King, you definitely need to quote him for Kyrie as well, because the way that they talked about Kyrie was like he was a straight animal. Like he was the worst human being ever on the planet. Now, I'm not saying Rodgers isn't getting a pretty rough treatment, but I've heard a lot of discussion about him, from, in your news, your sports news circle. He's a very smart man. He knows what he's doing. He, this is a big misstep, but, you just have to understand how intelligent he is. When they talked about Kyrie, they did everything. They might have just been, look, I'm going to just give you what they said. Paraphrase. He's stupid. He a dummy. We should beat this fool up when we see him. Like it was rough on Kyrie, but very light, and it was very measured. Is the word I want to use. Measured conversation about Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, so that's not surprising, is it?
But that's the thing. Okay, me and Silo talked about this today. Why is that? As people of color in America, we have to just accept that. I'm not saying you just accept it, but we do though. We do in a way. We have to kind of smile through these conversations.
Let me just adjust a couple of syllables in what you just said. We expect it. We don't have to accept it.
We do. And I'm going to tell you why. Because there's no way that we can change that particular narrative.
Well, it should get called out, though.
Right, but it's now you're talking to I have a new one, Kev. I've been working on this one, the California bigot, which is a different type of bigot, by the way. The California bigot is the bigot that doesn't even believe that he or she is bigoted. There's a California bigot, and they run right now. The California bigot is the illest bigot on the planet. You know what I mean? They are the Wu-Tang Clan of bigots. So the Pep Loves of bigots, if you will. Because it's this thing where they don't recognize that the bigotry is in their critique and acceptance of critique, right?
Right.
They don't even recognize it. It's not even a thing to them. You know what I'm saying? So this is kind of, I would say it's kind of shook the California bigot to its core, right? That casual progressive bigot that's like, my brother's girlfriend is Asian and he plays basketball. So there's no way I could be racist.
Yes.
That's that person.
Yeah, there is not a racist bone in my body. As a matter of fact, as the great Martin Luther King Jr. once said.
No, I think all of this comes down to one solid thing, and this is kind of where the bounce in my statement came from. NFL players being vaccinated, unvaccinated, and the protocols they follow, and blah, 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 is as these protocols roll out from business to business, one of the things that is notable and should be noted is that 90% of the businesses don't particularly care about the health of anyone, especially the NFL. It's simply to keep the business moving forward.
Sure.
Right. So how could Aaron Rodgers shirk protocols? And because no one cared. And we wouldn't care if he never caught COVID. You know what I'm saying? Like the NFL.
We never would have known, right?
We wouldn't have known. We wouldn't have known. We wouldn't have thought about it. Some writers might have discussed it, but their articles would have been buried somewhere. And that would have been the end of the story, because I don't think that the high-level people are truly concerned for the reasons why the vaccinations are in place, right? The overall health and betterment of us as a people. It's simply to keep the business going.
Yeah.
So he's going to get a light slap on the wrist. Whereas New York seems, the health of the people was actually one of the reasons for the mandates, which is passed on to the businesses, and in this case is smashing Kyrie into the ground. Yeah.
Well, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah. But I think also it's because I don't know what the interaction was between the NBA and my sense of it was that the NBA didn't have to worry about it because New York had the rules in place that they had.
Correct. So
the NBA would have had to get involved if he was playing for a team that was in a state that was sort of like a, red state, anti-vax, anti-mandate. That would have been a different scenario. Then the league has to make a decision, right?
Well, the question is, would Kyrie have simply followed the rules? Because then the NBA wouldn't have had to say anything, right?
Yeah. And, does he show up with a mask at the press conference, or does he, you know what I mean? Like, does he test before the whatever, Yeah. So it's a lot of hypotheticals, but the thing about Kyrie is that he still thinks that the earth is flat. So a little bit of that
he
is
backed
not
off of that one.
Completely undeserved.
To be fair, he backed off of that one. And he's still stupid, but he backed off of that one.
But yeah, but absolutely 100% what you're saying about the NFL. I mean, if I'm them, I already lost however much money I lost last season, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then, what is it? 16 regular season games? 17
now.
And then you assume that Green Bay is going to make it in the postseason to some degree, right? Mm-hmm. If not all, or, if possibly all the way.
It's looking
there's a lot at stake for a relatively short amount of exposure time, right? Mm-hmm, and he went to them and said, "This is what I'm doing." So they knew. Obviously they said, "Okay, well, that's not going to work." But what I think everyone assumes they said is, "No, that's not okay." And we're not going to put you on blast now because you are a cash cow. But also, if you end up, one, you know how these reporters are. Somebody's going to dig in and figure it out, or you're going to catch COVID. And if that happens, we're going to throw you under the bus.
Right. But you're not, though, right? Because the NBA was like, my name is Bennett, and I ain't in it. When it came to Kyrie, they simply threw their hands in the air. Y'all figure that out. You know what I'm saying? Y'all huddle up. New York, Brooklyn, all of y'all figure it out. Y'all, call Mos Def, Brooklyn, unite. We don't know we not doing it, right? So the NBA, but basically, at the end of the day, Kyrie wasn't breaking any rules. It wasn't breaking any NBA or team rules. Mm-hmm. It was the mandate of the city, right? Kind of an impossible situation. You just have to trade the guy. That's really all that's left in the Kyrie Irving situation. The city's not going to change and should not. By the way, hear me out, people, and should not change their rules on behalf of a basketball player. Period. Or any athlete or singer or whomever. No, absolutely not. Right? Yeah. Because there are police officers, there are healthcare workers that are all under the same weight that have similar beliefs to Kyrie, and they're allowed to feel how they want to feel. If the city's not changing the rules for them, then no, we're not changing it. There's no movement to change it for an NBA basketball player, right? All right. That's the long and short of it. And the NBA left the building. Mm-hmm. Now, the NFL is essentially trying to do the same thing here, right? We set the rules. We told y'all the rules. Y'all didn't follow them. But here's what you said, and essentially shout out to Silo, what he said today. Aaron Rodgers knew he wasn't vaccinated and was walking around breaking the rules. Mm-hmm. The Green Bay Packers knew he wasn't vaccinated and allowed him to walk around breaking the rules. But what everybody ain't talking about is the NFL damn well knew he wasn't vaccinated and let him walk around breaking the rules. Now, they going to pretend like they didn't know, but we all know that they knew. And it goes back to my point, because largely they don't care about the actual health issue. The issue is keeping their business going forward. If this doesn't interrupt, if you could get away with it without interrupting our business, keep it moving. But if you interrupt our business, all right, now we got an issue. Now I think they suspend them for one game. I think that's the most that they do. I think they suspend them for one game. They find the organization, and then they do what they always do as the NFL, which is turn around and say, look, we already did something. So, and we make, $15 billion annually. So
what kind of bonus you think Bradshaw got paid to smash on him yesterday?
I don't know. But he definitely
he put his foot down on his neck.
He did. And there's some people, to be fair, I mean, you look at the NBA, right? Charles Barkley's always the one that they go to because they feel like he's the most balanced, and Charles Barkley is actually not balanced at all. So I don't know, but he's very, very comforting to a certain group of people. But in this case, I will admit, like, some of these dudes were pretty upset, and they were upset for the right reasons. Not so much. I mean, some of them were upset for the right reason, which is the health risk of the actual reporters and other people that he's been around, unvaccinated, and not following protocols for an unvaccinated player. But others were upset because every other player is following the rules to the best of their ability. You know what I'm saying?
That's the whole, that's a societal thing. You know what I want to know? How much do officials get paid? How much does a head official get paid in a regular season NFL game?
I have no idea. I can look
if,
that up.
Because I would think that they're going to green light a little bit of helmet first action in the next game that he plays in. I think they might see a scroll in the corner of the stadium when he's getting his head ripped off.
About $200,000 a year.
See, a year.
Yeah,
a year. You know what? I was distracted. I didn't see that 500-pound man ripping your top knot off of your shoulders.
I like Aaron Rodgers too, man. I feel like he generally is on the right side of most discussions when they come his way. It's just so weird that we always end up here with those. And I won't call him a California bigot because I don't think he's that far deep into the game. But I do think he did a very California bigot thing, which is throw Martin Luther King right into the mix. That was it. When all else failed, Martin Luther King is like a straight grenade. He just tossed Martin MLK in, like, all right. Just whatever. Yeah.
Go Packers.
Go Packers. Yeah. And I was rooting for them a little bit. You know who I was not rooting for?
Who?
A woman who had to make 9 porta potty stops while running a marathon.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. Kev chose this topic title, so Fizz, leave me alone, because Kev will do something and Fizz will blame me.
Well, that's how it goes.
It's always shitty in Philadelphia.
That's a good title. That's a good title.
It is an excellent title.
I stand by it.
A woman had to make 9 porta potty stops while running a marathon and still achieved a personal record. Who else was running this? Oh, yeah, personal record. All right. Insider.com reports the players involved are marathoner Deirdre Kian and a Wu-Tang Clan's worth of porta potties. Another Wu-Tang Clan reference. All right, excuse me. Deirdre Kian has completed 34 marathons, but tells other runners she's a parody of things you shouldn't do, as far as race preparedness goes, at least. While her laid-back approach has largely served her well, it's made the 2014 Philadelphia Marathon, uncomfortable. In part because of her hurried race day breakfast. She said she wound up visiting every porta potty in the first 16 miles, yet she still achieved a personal record. Wow. This goes back to 2014, by the way.
Oh, this was in 2014?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Oh.
It looks like it says. But it's still worth noting. She said,
Absolutely. Marathon weekend.
Marathon weekend, yeah. She said she thinks that she sprinted from porta potty to porta potty, and she thinks that strategy worked for her. She is a nurse, at the time, was a nurse practitioner at a pediatric intensive care unit in New York City. She traveled to Philadelphia Marathon, her 9th or 10th, with a friend who was running a half marathon. So she assumed that they had the same start time at 7:30. When the pair arrived at 6:50 and got in line for the porta potties, Kian learned her race was actually at 7, so she didn't get a chance to use the bathroom first. And she just shoveled 2 protein bars and 2 slices of buttered toast into her mouth, with no time to digest and continue waiting in line. But after just 5 minutes, stomach started turning. And the reality that she may about to poop herself came in. She said she half an ice cube line, right? She said she emerged possibly 5 pounds lighter. You missed it. You missed it by 5.
You took my joke.
However,
this is
go ahead,
terrible.
Okay. Hold on, because I'm looking this up.
What?
But there was a woman recently who pooped on herself, right?
Whoa, during the marathon?
During a marathon.
Yeah, I don't think that's terribly uncommon. It's very unfortunate, but
yeah, she crossed the finish line recently. I got to look for that one. But yeah, she pooped herself and crossed the. Well, as I looked it up,
she probably didn't house half a case of protein bars in a loaf of bread before in mile 25 or whatever.
Not the wisest thing. Not the wisest thing. I would say definitely not the best pregame meal maybe an okay pregame meal, but not at the pregame time. You know what I'm saying? How you run that many marathons and don't know when your race starts? And how do you not know that the full marathon starts before the half marathon? What's wrong with you? What happened? What happened to you?
Bad itinerary.
Yeah, you are a collective of things never to do before. You absolutely are. Like one of them is just knowing your race start time. I've run 5K that I've been like 2 hours early too. Like I'm running a legitimate marathon. Like, and by the time I finish, I'm like, damn, that's it. Cool. Where we going? Where we going to eat? We're gonna go eat right there. It's open.
Jumping out, feeling about 5 pounds lighter.
Yeah. Wow.
At first I saw it and she was talking about she beat her personal record. And I was like, my personal record is at least 10 visits to the bathroom in one day. She's a lightweight.
Oh, slow ass. You slow as hell. And that's fine. But you slow as hell. You need to knock it off. Talk about I beat my personal record. You probably beat mine too. But you still slow.
Do you think all the people who read this and knew that they had given her a high five in the first 16 miles of the race were like,
right? Yeah, because she ain't washing no hands beating her personal record going to porta potties. That's for sure. Anybody who handed her a cup is looking at their hands like, oh my God, forever unclean.
Forever unclean. Oh man.
Yeah.
What a great marathon fairy tale.
Man, I wish I would have pulled up the story about the woman because she just did it. She ran across the finish line like, guys, I think I have to. Yeah, guys, I pooped in my underwear. I'm like, oh, it's not worth it. It is not worth it.
Well, I don't think that's why she did it. She's like, no, but wait, I'm not just gonna finish the marathon. I'm really gonna put the cherry on top. Listen. What you gotta do, you gotta get the cream joints.
Oh my God. All right, listen. Well, they have a picture of this woman on here crossing the finish line. So I'm looking at how, oh my God, this looks awful. A woman, this is just the headline. A woman who pooped this, I'm sorry. This is November 1st that this came out. And this was, about a week after the marathon. So this is very recent. A woman who pooped her pants halfway through a marathon.
Oh gosh,
and
she ran with it.
Ran with it in her shorts until she crossed the finish line, achieves a personal record.
But nevertheless, she persisted.
Here are the notes from the insider on this one, Kev. To keep her pace, Tamara relieved herself mid-marathon without stopping. Next note. She doesn't regret it. She ended up beating her best time 13 months postpartum.
But did she just shake it off? Or what did...
Check it out. This is the last note. Running can trigger the bowels for a few reasons, but most runners handle the urge differently. You think? You think, insider? Really? That's the note? That's what the editor said to put down?
Why are they treating it like it's the 7th inning stretch of every marathon?
Right. Yes. Most people don't poop, shit on themselves, and keep running. Yeah, that's not. It's just not how this works. Most people are like, no, I'm never doing that.
The one thing I would say is that if I ever ran 11 miles with another, how many is it? 26 miles? Mm-hmm. With another 15 to go? Mm-hmm. Whatever comes out, it's coming out like dust. That's just a leg shake, and no one is any the wiser.
I will say, yeah, I'm not so sure about.
Might change the color of the top of my socks. That's about as bad as it's going to get.
That is gross. That is super gross. I want no part in any of that. Period.
Well, nobody does.
I'm going to the bathroom. I'm not crossing the finish line like. Like I said, I've run a couple of short mile runs. It's an event after. I mean, I guess you can cross the finish line and go straight to your car if you want to. But if you just run 26 miles, like, you're not going to do that. You know what I mean? So, did she have a change of clothes?
What are you talking about? Like, there's an after party? You go to the after party?
There's like a post-event. There is a post-event.
Nelly is performing?
Well, if we're talking about things being shitty, then yes. Yes. Woman poops out a Nelly record in the middle of a marathon. Runs with it. Like Electra Records or whatever Nelly's record label was for far too long. That's your headline.
Well.
Oh, man. Yeah, I've had enough of this one. That's enough of that one entirely. Kev, let's jump into topic 3, man. We're doing all right on time, I guess, a little bit.
Right. Yeah, this is a quick one.
Yeah. Your topic title for this is Cancun Teddy's letter of the day. It's L. I love Cancun Teddy. Young Ted Cruz.
Teddy.
You know what I mean? When the lights is out, Teddy is out. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So Ted Cruz and other right-wingers squawk after Big Bird gets vaccinated. I laughed so hard when I read this story. The source for this is the Huffington Post. Players involved are Big Bird and Ted Cruz, which, I don't know, might be the same person on two different sides of it. Yeah, anyway. Okay, so Sesame Street's Big Bird character decided to get vaccinated and protect himself from COVID-19, and it caused a massive flap, writing, among vaccine skeptics like Texas Republican Senator Ted Cruz. Cruz said the whole scene was government propaganda. Good job. Okay. A big word for Sesame Street, by the way. It all started when Big Bird, who according to Sesame Street lore is eternally 6 years old. I did not know that. Is that real? Anyway, tweeted on Saturday about going.
No, Big Bird's not real.
I mean, is that real according to Sesame Street lore, Kev?
Evidently so.
Okay. Tweeted on Saturday about.
What do I edit the Wikipedia page? I don't know.
I mean, you might. I don't know what you do.
Do a little bit of it all.
I'm not sure what you're up to. Anyway, it all started when Big Bird, who according to Sesame Street lore is eternally 6 years old, tweeted on Saturday about going under the needle. Okay, now that kids can get vaccinated. He said his wing is feeling a little sore, but it'll give my body the extra protective boost that keeps me and others healthy. The Sesame Street star said he was surprised to learn that he had been getting vaccines since he was a little bird. Kind of like American kids. Big Bird has been active in child immunization campaigns stretching back to the 1970s and frequently advocates for healthy choices through his performance on Sesame Street. Clearly, Kev, let's go for the punchline. He ruffled some feathers.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh.
Nice job, Huff. Good job.
Good work.
Big Bird is eternally 6 years old. Is this a thing that cartoons... Yeah, because Bart Simpson is never going to grow older.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good job, cartoons.
Stewie.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Brian is the oldest dog
in the world.
History of dogs.
Yeah. Scooby-Doo.
Ah.
Yeah.
I like how that's the part of this that you keyed in on.
Yeah, well. I mean, did we not know it was going to happen? We knew. I mean, what are we going to do? Where are we really doing it? This is the thing. In the words of the great, I'm kidding. No, man. I've had this. I've said this before on this show or whatever. Like this whole thing. I'm like, y'all just got here. Y'all just figured out government propaganda is happening, and it can, you know what I mean? I mean, maybe it is, maybe it isn't, fam, but I don't know. I'm black, so we've been dealing with this for a minute. Welcome. Want to come kick it over here? Drink some brews. We got Old English. I think we still drink that.
Yeah, Ted Cruz is following a long line of long tradition of hypocritical idiots because he's vaccinated. He's vaccinated, right? This was like Northern politicians decrying the evils of slavery.
Yeah.
Then going home to their slaves.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just a joke. It's a joke. And maybe it was. I don't know. I'm black, fam. Sorry. I'm not going to. I didn't even shudder.
I'm going to tell you, if you want to bring race into this, he would not have said all of this nonsense if Big Bird was white, but Big Bird is yellow. Think about it.
There's okay. I want to say one more thing, and then I'm going to say one next thing. I'm
going to say just one more thing, and then I'm going to say.
I'm gonna say one more thing. Oh, yeah, exactly. That came out right. That was the Ghostface line. I'm gonna say one more thing, and then I'm gonna say my other thing. You know what I mean? Hear me out here, Kev.
Okay.
If I was sitting next to Ted Cruz in that moment, I actually might have been like, "You right, fam? You right?" That might have been all I said. Word up. You right?
Ooh.
I don't know.
You know what I would have said?
What's that?
I would have said that I bet all of your romantic partners have also said that they were going under the needle.
See, I forgot the last thing I was going to say now. How about that? Kev, man. We got to get out of this. We got to get out of here, man. So we got to get to, of course. And I only had one down because I felt like this one. Shout out to my man, Big O, my man Omega, who sent this to me a long time ago. And I did not get it on the show. I screenshot it. And that's the reason why I didn't get it on the show. It stayed in my actual phone camera roll for quite a while. We are about to get into the Sakoda ones. If you are not familiar with the Sakoda ones. Hoo-ha. The Sakoda ones is, Sakoda is a very clever gentleman.
And, I think I'm going to get in trouble.
And we like to test that out.
If the woke mob comes after me, Trek, tell my children I love them.
Well, first I'm going to be like, wait, children?
Also, don't tell my wife I said children.
Yeah, I was going to say. I'm like, whoa. This show almost got canceled. That was close. That was very close. All right, Kev. So what we do is we throw Kev a headline, and Kev responds with either a one-liner of his own or some clever Sakoda isms. Here we go. Kev, you ready?
Yeah.
Komodo dragon destroyed BBC camera by trying to have sex with it. That is your headline from yahoo.com.
Quick question. What does BBC stand for?
Damn it. I'm not doing this show anymore. I've leaned back from the microphone. This is horrible for podcaster radio, but I have officially quit the rest of this episode.
This is bad for the culture.
Oh my God.
Hey man, you can't just float one right over the plate.
God, good Lord. Oh man, I have so many curse edits to get out of this show. So let's go ahead and move. I'm missing all of them. I'm not doing them. Y'all gonna hear some cursing on this show. It is what it is. I'm not editing anymore. All right, y'all. That was enough. Okay. Thank y'all for tuning in. We appreciate each and every one of y'all.
Thank you for tuning in to the series finale of Rap Sucks Radio.
Oh my God. We appreciate each and every one of y'all. If you'd like to catch past episodes of Rap Sucks Radio, you can go to rapsucksradio.com or any of your favorite podcasting platforms. You can also catch us on BTSN, that is Behind the Scenes Network. What you do is you download the app or channel on your Roku or any of your Amazon Fire devices. If I remember what you do, click on the app or channel, and we are right there with plenty of other dope content. BTSN, Behind the Scenes Network. We want in. I am your homeboy Trek Life. And that over there is your fam Kev Sakoda. No worry, you don't get no more one-liners. We take a day off. you out. I leaned back like, oh no, what is he gonna say now? I'm scared. Oh man. Yeah, man, holler back at us, man. We out of here like last year. On the count of three, we say peace. 1, 2, 3. Peace. We out, y'all.